Why don't we round out on this? And I'm going to let you totally take this, and I don't want to get way too in the weeds on it because I do want to wrap up here shortly. But we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about this iBurn thing. I saw somebody already mentioning GIF, the Gifford token, which I am not as much familiar with right now, full disclosure. But it launches for ICOSA Hedron. What does this mechanism actually do, I guess? And what is the GIF token? What is Gifford, this token that comes along with it? Because again, I've kind of had a little bit more tunnel vision the last few days, and I'm hoping you have some more insight to add Ewok. I have heard some people talking about it, but it seems to be something built for ICOSA that should help it. But I also see some people wondering why it was built for ICOSA. So, I don't know if you heard everything that I just said. Or
Yeah, I heard you. I'm just still playing with my camera. So Gifford is the guy, I believe, that kind of created this stuff. There we go. Finally back in focus. And so I'm not overly certain the percentages of how it works. It's meant to create parity between chains, right? And then this iBurn is specifically for ICOSA. Not exactly sure. You use ICOSA to mint the GIF, or I think, or maybe the I'm not sure exactly what you get, but a percentage of that pulse chain or whatever then does get bought back in to the particular token, and then it burns it. So it's basically another buy and burn functionality that will use arbitrage opportunity to bring things to parity. And I was like, well, does this work with anything? Like, why wouldn't we do this with X? I mean, it makes sense to do that, and they didn't really answer my question. So I saw it on. I don't remember if it was the FN Hangout on Friday night when they were talking about it. I know RG3 has something to do with it. I know Crypto Kool-Aid has something to do with it. Those guys were the instrumental in the marketing portion of it. But yeah, ICOSA now is very close. In fact, let's take a little look-see here on the two different chains. Let me share my
ICOSA, and I will say for ICOSA's sake, I mean, those two have been, I think, tighter than most to parity on both chains, actually.
Well, and it's kind of stayed that way, right? Over time. Like it didn't go too far apart. So ICOSA on Pulse Chain is 13 cents.
Looks like just below 13 cents on Ethereum, actually.
13.4 on Pulse Chain, yeah. And then I thought I had ICOSA on here too, but I guess not. Let's just look.
I'm seeing like 12.6 cents.
Why did that do that? I must have hit the ad.
Or 12
you're seeing
cents,
what?
Depending on where you look. Right about 12 cents. I mean, it's fairly
so
close.
So we're looking at 13.47 on Pulse Chain and 11.98, almost 12 cents on Ethereum. And that's V2. But yeah, I mean, they're within what, a penny and a half at 13 cents. Right. So, they're closing in together pretty cool. So, yeah, I mean, if that's what the protocol is doing, and then the GIF token itself is what's getting bought essentially and not sold. So, I mean, that's the game theory behind that one is any token that gets bought and not sold, that's kind of what your outcome is, right? It's a straight up candle, right? Essentially. So, but I feel like there's going to have to be some selling pressure here at some point. So, I don't know a whole lot about the mechanics of it, but I do know, like I said, that's kind of how it works, right? It takes what you put in, and then it takes a percentage of it, buys and burns part of the supply, so that it will in itself help with the arbitrage of getting them to parity. So enough
Yeah.
volume will do that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Interesting.
fantastic. And of ICOSA Hedron, I mean, ICOSA is the more scarce one to begin with also. I mean, it's kind of the hotter commodity.
Yeah.
Um, and I've definitely acquired some on both chains over the last couple of months. So definitely bullish to see this. It would be nice. I don't know if and when Alex McWhirter will update on any of the things that he's working on, but I mean, we
Right.
know that he's working on more cross-chain stuff for ICOSA Hedron, where basically one token, which will be ICOSA Hedron, will be created, and you will have,
Right.
I think you said like a 30-day window where you can send in your current tokens from either chain to basically get that. So
Yeah. The
I don't want
V2
to.
version. Yep.
Right. And I don't want to go too far with that and say any, total specifics because who knows, it may change a bit by the time he actually does come out with that.
Right. Right.
Um,
And he's been
but
quiet. Like, we haven't heard
yeah,
much from Alex, and when Alex is quiet, he's working. Um,
definitely.
so I don't know how this will affect that, what he's doing. I would assume that these guys have at least reached out to him. I would hope so anyway, and
Mm,
said, "Listen, this is our plan. We know, Alex is a cool dude. He's done a lot for the community. Um, very selfless. You know what I mean? He's
mhm,
put out things that are um, locked contracts, no middlemen, that work and just work. So I would hope that these guys have had reached out to him before that they launched it. Hopefully, it doesn't interfere with any of the plans, or he doesn't have to rewrite something now yet again because things have changed, right?
right.
Um, you know, so yeah, just thinking out loud, I guess.
Yeah. No, I'm totally with you. We know Alex is definitely working and definitely not shaving. So his beard anyway. I don't know about anywhere else, but yeah, kudos to him. We're definitely looking forward to all that. Yeah, so good stuff from I Burn there. We got a Peach fan in the house. There we go. Just hit another new all-time high. It looks like so.
Yeah, Fast
Um,
Abdul said they
there
have
we go.
informed Alex, so good stuff.
Cool. Appreciate that, man. All right, let's just wrap up talking about real quick, just Paul's conference so far because I have somebody calling for my attention here a little bit. So Paul's con, Matty Allen, we can't ever say enough with how much he provides his community. I know some people recently were like, oh, he launched a token and there's a sacrifice phase and I have a problem. I mean, whatever. I mean, like he basically has carte blanche at this point with how much he's done.
Yeah,
You know, for free a lot of it to and take time out of his own life, out of his own days, setting up and organizing these conferences of all these terrific speakers. You and I even talked about like maybe we both didn't watch as much of it as we traditionally would, not for any reason other than like we
busy.
we we know all these people. Well, yeah, that too. Busy, but also like we know these people. We're
Mhm.
kind of in the community, and I think it's more of a spectacle for other communities to see. I mean, that's what we
Yeah,
want to be doing is showing like, look what we have going on here. Look at this conference that runs like every year without fail. How many other people can say this? And I did see some great segments. I saw like Money Gang with Big Krakowski
mhm,
and David Fader, which was a really good one. Whichever one Frank Molina was on, we're obviously very familiar with Frank, and that one was terrific. I mean,
yeah,
so many good people. I saw Axis on there. I mean, like, yeah, I mean, a lot of great conversations. So, really, just overall, like another reason that I'm so pumped to be part of the community and feel like we're in the absolute right place. Because the thing that people forget is the community is what you want in crypto, not necessarily the tech. Even if the tech is good, and even if we are as decentralized, more than anybody else, like we talked about at the top of the show, the community is just crazy. So,
yep.
what were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, man, you can fork the code, but you can't fork a community, and it just goes to show the amount of work that Maddie puts in every year. And it's not just the Pulse conference; he does the Hex conference too. So he's doing this
Yeah.
like twice a year, um, thanklessly. I mean, there are so many people out there that I tell you what, if people that have bad things to say about Maddie, they probably have some of their own issues, man. I just I how do you find bad things to say about this guy? Because he's always doing things selflessly. He's not making anything. In fact, I forget whether it was Liquid Loans or one of the sponsors of this year's thing. They put 10 grand up into a pool. And Maddie said, "Hey, if you were a speaker, come claim your share of the money that was donated. I'm giving it to all the speakers that spoke this year. I mean, who does that, right?
Right.
It's just the things that he does for this community. Shout out to him, Matty. Golf clap. You know, I appreciate you. A lot of people appreciate you, and just fade the haters. But yeah, job well done. It went off again without a hitch, and
Yeah.
yeah, kudos to him. Yeah, I mean, I saw some of the speakers as well. I forgot about Frank's. I caught that. I missed the David Feeder and Kurkowski one. I wish I could have seen that. I haven't seen Feeder really much lately. In
That's why I
fact,
enjoyed it. Yeah, I had
yeah, I
seen him
haven't
there.
I spoke to, like, I met him at the conference. We hung out quite a bit
Yeah,
when I was in Vegas, and talked with David's a very cool guy, down to earth dude.
definitely.
Um, yeah, so wish I would have caught that, but again, I know it's mostly for a lot of people who want to find out more about the community and things like that. But yeah, just awesome. And again, thanks again. Thank you probably isn't enough, but he does a great job every year.